WWE Talk live on Tim Reynolds Show with special guest Trucker John. How we doing, brother? Welcome to the channel, man.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me, dude. These are always fun, and I think I'm gonna learn some stuff today as well, too. So,
Brother, it's been long overdue. Now, I know you've had a lot going on in your personal life, so I'll kind of be catching you up to date a little bit here. But,
for
man,
sure.
can you believe, bro, we are less than 2 weeks away from WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. They're going to be at Allegiant Stadium, the home of the Las Vegas Raiders, by the way. If you guys haven't seen it, that is one of the best stadiums right now in the NFL, especially going to be pretty cool, I think, for a live event. Now, Trucker John, let me ask you this, you being a wrestling fan. Do you remember the setups at WrestleMania that we've seen over the years?
Absolutely. They get bigger and bigger every year. So the sign itself, I don't know if you guys notice this. Every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But this past year has flown by, especially in the wrestling world.
For
I was
real?
surp- I remember WrestleMania 40 in Philly as if it was yesterday,
Me
and now we're
too!
we're already talking about WrestleMania 41. So I'm excited for it, though.
Dude, for real, man. I think Las Vegas is the perfect venue here for this one. There is a lot of big storylines heading into this one. So I think we'll start about some of the main storylines first, and then we'll
For sure.
sprinkle in some of those side ones that I'm sure you haven't heard a lot of details with. But you know what? Actually, let's start with a weird side one actually here first, because to me, this one's got to be one of the most hilarious matches of WrestleMania 41. So there's a new superstar on the Monday Night roster, if you guys haven't found out, and his name is El Grande Americano. But we all know this is just Chad Gable of American Made putting on a freaking luchador mask. But he
How's he
now has
doing?
a match as El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania 41. Now, what do you think about that one, man? Because I'm pretty sure you hadn't heard about that match yet.
No, not at all, dude. Chad Gable is he's like a Kurt Angle, right? And
Yeah,
I'm a huge Kurt guy. Kurt
me
is my
too.
guy. So I'm very curious to see how he does. He has banger matches every single time.
He
Question:
does.
has he already wrestled as this L
So
whatever
he's had
character?
officially 2 matches now. In the past couple of weeks, he debuted a few weeks ago on the European tour for Monday Night Raw. And it was so funny, dude, bro, because on the show, he comes up and he's like, General Manager Adam Pearce, I don't believe I'm going to be able to compete tonight. Doctor's orders. And he hands him a doctor's note. So now Chad Gable can't compete in the match against Dragon Lee, who's a part of the LWO with Rey Mysterio, who's Rey Mysterio is the leader of that
Yeah.
faction, right? So both Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio are like, oh, you're faking it. So Rey, and you don't get to hear this often from Rey, but Rey's line was priceless because he's like, okay, that's fine. We'll meet you out in the parking lot. And I'm like, oh shit, Rey Mysterio about to go street fight on
That's
Chad
good.
Gable. But no. So Chad, clever as he is, he goes, how about you give the new guy a shot? That El Grande Americano guy. Because they literally just showed a video promo of this guy before you see them backstage with general manager Adam Pearce. So that to me was very, very interesting. And that's what led us to this character because Chad kept getting beat by luchadors. He kept getting beat by Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio and a lot of the other guys, including Penta. I think Penta was the last luchador he lost to. And then Chad went on a mission, a journey, if you
Yeah,
will,
yeah, yeah.
to figure out how to beat luchadors. And now all he did was put on a fucking luchador match.
For sure. So again, going back to Kurt, right? Kurt could be the badass. He could be the funny guy.
Yep.
He could do all these different roles, and I think that's what you're seeing
Chad
out of
Gable.
Chad Gable. Yeah, Chad Gable now, and I think this is going to do nothing but help him. And I mean, I'm curious to see the match now. You know.
Me too. And I got to ask you this, though, too, because let's look at the other side of that coin there for a second. Do you think that this luchador sort of storyline for Chad Gable, do you think this helps him or hurts him for WrestleMania? Because if you think about it, this is probably the first big WrestleMania match for Chad Gable and it's not even technically for Chad Gable, right? It's for El Grande Americano. So do you think that hurts Chad as far as his career, his legacy going forward? Or do you think that helps him with the fact that he's never really even been on a big WrestleMania match in the first place?
I think, yeah, I think it helps him. I think it helps, just like it did with kind of Kurt. It kind of helps stretch. It shows the lengths that his character can go. Plus, let's be honest, what would he have done if he wasn't kind of in this angle for WrestleMania?
He would have
So I
just been in a
think,
faction match. It would have been with
yeah,
American Made, it would have been like some six-man tag, or maybe
yep,
something to do with the tag team titles. And I really do think that Chad's a better wrestler than that. I mean, we got to
hundred
give him
percent,
credit where credit
yep,
is due. He is one of the best in-ring wrestlers right now on Monday Night Raw. I'm not afraid to say that. And the guy shows up every time that he's actually in the ring performing. Now, he's a little rough
yeah,
on the edges on the mic, so I know he's working better at doing that. So maybe being the luchador and having the mask on makes that a little bit better, because he doesn't have to talk as much. He just lets his wrestling sort of speak for itself. And the only thing I can really compare to this is maybe it was like when Hulk Hogan put on a luchador mask back in the day. I don't want to compare Chad Gable to Hulk Hogan too much. You know what I'm saying? But
no,
maybe this is a new way for people to sort of get to see Chad Gable in a new light and appreciate his wrestling a little bit more.
for sure. And I would be very surprised if this is an angle that they run with heavy after WrestleMania. So I
I would
think,
expect them to.
so do you? So I
Yeah.
kind of think, I think you'll see some, but like I don't think it'll last long, right?
So
I
you're
think
saying so you're saying this luchador thing with Chad is probably a flash in the pan. This is sort of just to get our attention here, WrestleMania moment, and then afterwards it's gonna. I mean, I guess that would mean we'd probably, because I was actually a little shocked. I was expecting maybe like a mask for mask match with Rey
eventually,
Mysterio, right?
I think
Because
of
like
eventually, yeah.
this doesn't do much for Ray. You know what I mean? Like, Ray's had plenty of WrestleMania moments. Like, this one's kind of a downgrade over what he's done the last couple of WrestleManias, if you ask me. So there's not much to really talk here when it comes to Rey Mysterio's side of this thing. That's where I feel like Chad Gable, like, if you're gonna push this, if you're gonna do this luchador Americano thing, I think eventually what this either means is that Chad Gable's gonna turn babyface, and the whole faction of American Made and him will turn babyface, and that's the direction they'll go. Or, like you said, maybe it'll be in a way where it like drastically fails and he loses this mask or this persona very quickly. I just can't imagine them putting in all of this sort of promo and storyline with them over the last few months just for him to lose at WrestleMania and then to end. Which, let's get to our prediction for this match, by the way. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Who do you got winning this match?
Oh man.
Americano. Who do you got winning this? Ooh, too loud.
So I have Ray, and as much as I think Gable needs this just for his career, it doesn't do anything for Ray, right? Like you said. Um, I think Ray's going to, and then that's gonna send Chad Gable into a certain direction. I don't know what that direction will be, um, but I don't think it's gonna end right at WrestleMania. But I do believe that uh, a couple months after, maybe SummerSlam. Um, I don't think it's going to be a long lasting character, so I'm going to think Ray's gonna take it. But I think it's going to be a great match.
Me too, man. There's not a lot of bad matches on this WrestleMania card, by the way, which I think a lot of people are going to be happy about, because there has been over the last couple of WrestleManias a couple of downsides to some of these matches that we've seen, and this one has the potential of it, but I'm not going to go there with this one. I'm definitely going to pick Rey Mysterio as the winner, and I think Chad Gable is definitely the guy that has more to lose in this match than
For
Rey.
sure.
Whether Ray wins or loses, his next storyline or where he's going to go after WrestleMania has probably not only already been determined, but it's going to be good. Like right now, keep Rey Mysterio on WWE TV as long as you can. People love him. He's good backstage. He's good on the mic. He's good in front of the camera, and he's excellent in the ring. He hasn't seemed to lost a step. To me, Chad Gable, if you have him win this match, which I would really think that that's what they're going to do. I'm predicting my choice is Ray. I'm going to root for Ray to win. I think more than likely they're going to have Chad win, El Grande Americano, and I think they're going to push this faction American Made a lot forward, which is why I kind of said earlier, I think they could go babyface with all these four guys because Chad's great, man, and this faction he's got with the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile, it's perfect. It really works well with the theme, all the American outfits and stuff they got, the attitude, the tenacity that they have. The Creed brothers are like old school wrestlers. Those two, when you see them in the ring, they'll remind you of Kurt Angle all day long. Hell, even a little bit of Brock Lesnar. Now, I'm not calling him Brock Lesnar or Kurt Angle, but I'm saying you like the wrestling ability from those Creed brother guys. So I think Chad fits perfectly with them. You got to keep them together. So if All Grande Americano ends up going, sure, but you got to keep American Made together going forward. I really think that faction will be well. But hey, that's just one match, brother. We're like 11 minutes in already on here, man. Let's go, bro. That's what I'm talking about. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out on the channel. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And also, shout out to my boy, Truckerjohn89. Make sure you guys go check out his YouTube channel as well. He's on there usually live streaming with a bunch of video games. Pretty chill channel, so make sure you guys check that out as well. I had to make sure I get you a shout out in there, brother. So, all right. Let's go to our next big match of WrestleMania. We'll go to one of the championship matches, and we were talking about this before we started our live stream. Let's go to the WWE Women's Championship match, where we will see Tiffany Stratton defend her championship against the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble winner. That is the legend herself, Charlotte Flair, who's going to look to win another title here going up against Tiffany Stratton. Now, I don't know if you guys on the channel or Trucker John, if you got to see last Friday's SmackDown, but OMG, bro. Did you see how good Tiffany Stratton was on the mic, brother?
That's I think that's a good headline, but I think the bigger headline is how bad Charlotte Flair was, right? Like,
oh, okay. I like where you're going with this. You know what
I'm saying? Like, she was very minimal, and dude, it wasn't.
Bro, she looked like she may have chiefed a little too much, man. Had a little bit too much brandy before she got in the ring. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what that was, man. I don't think I've ever seen Charlotte Flair like that stutter, you know, like, or, you know, not like Charlotte Flair usually knows how to destroy anybody on the mic, bro. And it's like she knew Tiffany was loaded because I think you mentioned this earlier. She went pretty personal with her talk and disrespect and the way she came at Charlotte Flair on Friday night.
So the first thing that I heard about this story was that there was a personal beef off screen. So that was the news that I saw. Now, again, I know we talked about it briefly and you said you hadn't confirmed it. But I saw that there was some personal beef based off of the promos that they were shooting. They were very personal, and apparently there was people backstage that did report that they had personal beef. Now, with that being said, what better way to build your women's championship title match, than adding a little gossip to it, right?
Especially with those two girls. You are so on point with that, brother.
Yeah. It's you want to make the women's title match as big as possible. What better way than just saying that? So take that with a grain of salt. But either way, I think it's going to be a great match. This is honestly the one match that I truly am not sure on. I can come up with a storyline and a direction for both of them. Either way it goes. So personally, if I had to bet, if I was a betting man, and I am, I think
I
Charlotte.
love the honesty from my dog.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I think Charlotte's gonna turn heel.
Okay. Well, she's
And
already
I
pretty
think
much the heel right now. So you're saying she's going to like really dive into
really,
that.
yeah, yes,
Because
yeah.
they now remember, people don't even mention this, and I'm sure a lot of like half-ass WWE fans probably won't know this, but when this match first came about, you could have had it as Charlotte as the baby face, and then Tiffany Stratton could have been the heel. But a lot of people didn't see that at the beginning.
Sorry, Tim. My
You're good,
daughter was
man. You're
trying to break.
good.
My daughter was trying to break through the door.
Of course, of course. Daughter always
I
wants to
know.
get on camera. You know, it's all good.
Every
I get
time,
it.
bro.
I get it,
Every
bro.
time.
Just like your
Every
daddy, it's all good.
Nah. I turn my camera off usually. All right. I don't even play with the camera on anymore.
Bro, don't even talk to me about camera off. The last time we had one of these chats and we talked about football, you were blank screen the whole entire time, and I had no idea until the video was done. I had all my subscribers coming here like, who the hell is Tim talking to? Like,
yeah,
you couldn't even hear you, bro. You couldn't.
I
It
know.
was literally nothing. I'm like, how can I hear you and we have conversation and it didn't record anything,
We
bro? I
had
don't know
we
what
had
happened.
we had a great conversation
We
at that
did.
too.
We
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't delete it. That's why I didn't delete it. It's still on my fucking YouTube. You click on there, you don't hear a word you say, but my points were so good, and I'm like, damn it, I need to remember that. That was a good conversation.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, I like what you're going with this one though. Like you could see some storylines really building with either Tiffany or Charlotte Flair, depending on who wins this match, and we'll get to that on who we're going to decide or who we're going to pick
Yeah.
on who we think's going to win that match. Now, chat, just keep in mind we will be having a WrestleMania preview. Right now, we're just getting everybody caught up on the storylines. Next Wednesday, we'll try to do this same thing here. Obviously, schedules pending with everybody. And if we can make this happen with me and Trucker John, we'll do a little bit of a WrestleMania preview for everybody and go over really more in depth on what these matches will mean, win or loss, especially with these storylines going forward. Because me and Trucker John, we've been WWE fans long enough. We can kind of predict or at least, try to give our opinions about what
Yeah.
could really happen going forward on whether this person wins or loses and
For
stuff
sure.
like that. So that's what you'll check out on that WrestleMania preview coming up next week. So for this particular match, I really think Charlotte Flair has been a little underwhelming, and I think the WWE Universe can really sense that. On Friday, I was very shocked to see the crowd come at Charlotte with those boos right away. I mean, were you a little shocked by that as well?
I mean, yeah, but if there's one superstar that can draw that kind of reaction, though, it's Charlotte. So it kind of, I don't know, man. It makes me think that I don't know. I'll wait till we do our predictions before I say
Yeah,
it. But
well, because I mean,
yeah,
to me, it almost seems like the WWE universe, the wrestling fans, they're getting a little bit smarter. You know what I mean? They're actually
yeah.
starting to figure out what to
But
predict
so
and
are
what to sort of,
WWE.
huh?
Not to cut you off, but so are WWE, right? So
Yes.
WWE, if we were to have done this a few years ago, you could we could predict everything that's going to happen on the card, pretty much, right?
Yep.
Now,
In this new era, in this Paul Levesque Triple H
it's
era, you
harder.
are you are
It's
exactly right. Whether
it's
it's
harder.
wrong or right, whether you hate it or you love it, it's
Yep.
always the same. It feels like where you're like you're right on that edge. Is this going to be a good? Is this going to be
Yeah.
bad? Where is this going to
Yeah.
twist at? And I think we see this with this match here. Now, for me, I can't go into who I'm going to predict who's going to win this match without giving huge kudos to Tiffany Stratton. I mean, bro, I ain't ever heard somebody go that ham and that personal on the mic against Charlotte Flair. Got to give her credit for doing that. I won't go over in detail what she said because it was pretty fucking bad. Y'all can go look that up on social media if you need to. But man, that's been kind of the kind of like downside for Tiffany Stratton is she hasn't been very good on the mic. She even stumbled a little bit in this promo that she did, and she's actually like known for sort of doing that with her promos, getting on the mic. But I thought this one was her best yet, and she definitely stepped
For
it up a
sure.
notch heading into this match. So going into our predictions, I'm sure you probably haven't got to see Tiffany Stratton wrestle as much as you'd like, but she's definitely more
Yeah,
of a high flyer. She's got a little bit more of like a luchador style to her. If I had to give her something, maybe I don't want to say RVD. That's probably giving her too much credit doing like that. But she's a little bit more of a high flyer, and then you know how Charlotte is. She's more of the ground and pound submission type of wrestler. So who do you have winning this match?
so personally, all right, I have Charlotte winning, but I have her. I have her doing something really crazy, and I think the fans, it's gonna make them kind of hate her more, right? Like
Like,
if Charlotte wins, people are gonna be like boo and yelling, and we don't want her as champion, whatever they're gonna say. That's gonna make Tiffany even more of a superstar. And I think it's going to lead into SummerSlam. I do not think that this is going to be the end of the story. I personally think Charlotte's going to win. They're
okay.
going to meet up later down the road, probably SummerSlam, and then Tiffany can have her moment at SummerSlam.
Now there is that Backlash premium live event just before SummerSlam, so your theory could work well for Backlash as well. I mean, it's in the name, you know what I'm saying?
For
So
sure.
that could work
Yeah.
well with that. And I like your angle you're going there because me personally, I really do think they're going to have Tiffany Stratton win because I don't think it benefits WWE or Tiffany Stratton for her to lose this match. You know what I mean? Like going forward, could it maybe build more of that beefier comeback, backlash, get back at her sort of storyline so that way Tiffany Stratton can be a two-time champion? Sure, I see that. But I guess I'm just reading too much of the tea leaves from the WWE universe, man. I don't know if Charlotte is really like gaining that much momentum right now from the WWE universe. And that's sad. That's sad to say because Charlotte's one of the best, man. She still
Right.
wrestles pretty damn good over the
I
few
agree.
matches that we've seen
I
her
think
back
she's the
from her
best woman.
injury. One of the
I,
best,
I,
absolutely,
yeah, I think she's one of the best women in ever of women's
ever.
wrestling. Take her last name aside, doesn't matter. She's made a
Yep,
name for herself. She
absolutely.
deserves it. She's earned it. What better way to get her heat than her beat the new girl, right? The
Yeah, I
new
see where you're going with
superstar,
that.
right?
I like
So
where you're going
what
with that.
what better way for Charlotte to kind of get heat, right? And then also, okay, you have Tiffany Stratton beat Charlotte, right? Oh, that
Okay.
was the end. You know what I mean? Like that was the
No,
end.
it
No,
wouldn't be. No.
Charlotte's gonna do something. Charlotte, she could cheat, whatever. Something's gonna happen.
Okay.
Charlotte's gonna win.
Okay.
Charlotte is gonna get so much heat because people are gonna be like, "Give it to Tiffany, give it to Tiffany," and now Charlotte wins. So, and it's not a super long payoff from April to what, August, when SummerSlam, whenever SummerSlam is.
No, and
So,
like we just mentioned, we're gonna be there before we know it, especially with
yep,
the way because I mean WWE has been cooking on these storylines, man. There hasn't really
yeah,
even been a lot of even intermediate storylines. Like just for instance, with the Wyatt Six. Now they haven't been on WWE TV in quite a few months, but even though they were only on for those few showings or whatever, that still drew the WWE in. I mean, even with some of their lackluster stuff, they're still grabbing the attention of the audience in the WWE universe. So I like where you're going with this because we haven't seen Charlotte Flair really do that like despicable heel stuff in a while, right? So
yep,
that's perfect into that to get the title back around her waist and then sort of continue to build this
yep,
storyline and this rivalry with her and Tiffany Stratton. And that's exactly what they're trying to do with this here because and when they first started out, when Tiffany Stratton was picked by Charlotte, you could see immediately the comparisons from the two. You could
for sure,
see somebody going,
100%.
we can see a little bit of Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, right? So perfect WrestleMania main event match, perfect championship match. I'm just really curious who's going to win this one, man, because the storylines could be so crazy for these two going forward, depending on who wins. I personally think Tiffany Stratton's going to win. You have Charlotte Flair winning. So this is definitely going to be one that we're going to have to come back and talk about after
Yeah,
WrestleMania
for
is over
sure.
and see how it's going, especially because brother, you know what? I know on weekdays it's hard for you, but the Monday after fucking
For
WrestleMania,
sure. For sure.
there is always
100%.
something crazy that happens there. So we could definitely see something there. or the Friday after WrestleMania as well, because that's where Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton are usually on, is Friday Night SmackDown. But should be an excellent match. Trucker John, thank you so much, man, for hanging out with us on Tim Reynolds Show. We just went over our second match for WrestleMania. So, brother, I'm going to give you a couple options, and we'll let you pick out the next match for us. We'll go with one of the little intermediate matches we got in the women's division. We got Naomi versus Jade Cargill. Now, this has been a long, complicated storyline as well. We got a
I
newer
know a little
WrestleMania
bit.
match. Huh?
I know a little bit about this one. Jade came back, I think, and
Okay, we'll start with
attacked.
this one.
Yeah. I think Jade came back. They were tag teaming, and Jade went out for a little while, and then Jade came back and beat up.
Naomi.
Oh, okay, yeah. So beat up Naomi. So this feud, both of them deserve a push, right? Like
They do.
they do. So I could see this going either way. Jade Cargill, this is her first solo match at WrestleMania.
Yes, it is. This is her first WrestleMania.
So this is gonna be exciting. Naomi, she deserves it as well.
And she's on a
I
heel
think
turn. She's on a heel turn now with this, because it was revealed that she was the one who took out Jade Cargill all those months ago before Survivor Series War Games, when Bianca Belair then was going to have to
oh
vacate the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships.
yeah.
But Naomi stepped up as her friend to help her out, and she was tag team champs with Bianca for the longest time. And it was actually, I think they got us a little bit with that one, man. I was a little bit shocked that it was
That's a
Naomi that
damn
did
good
it.
storyline, bro.
Yeah, but
You know what that gives me vibes of? Do you remember back when Rikishi ran over Stone Cold,
oh my
right?
gosh, man, you going long time ago,
And they were
brother.
trying and he was trying to figure out who did it, and they were looking at tapes and this and that. That's the kind of vibes it gives me, you know what I
Dude,
mean?
that's
So
so cool, man. Especially that you go
yeah,
with an old school sort of men's match and storyline along with that. But yeah, like, to me,
yeah.
Jade is one of the best up and coming female
For sure.
superstars
Yep.
right now. I mean,
Yep.
she did her thing in AEW. I don't talk about AEW on here. They fucking suck. I definitely
Yeah,
don't like
I
them.
agree. I agree.
But
They
she
were in
was like one of
Baltimore
the
last
best.
night, by the way.
Huh?
They were in Baltimore last night, by the way.
Were they?
Yeah.
No
I
shit.
listen. I went to the first television show that they had in DC. I went to that. It was cool. You know what I mean? I wanted to see what was up or whatever. But somebody did invite me to go recently, yesterday, and
Man.
no,
You're
I'm
kind of
good.
like, trust me, I actually just seen I was so frustrated today just trying to find something on the TV, and I put on YouTube MJF was trying to be a part of the Hurt Syndicate, who's just the Hurt Business. It's Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley when they used to be with MVP in WWE. Well, now they're in AEW, and MJF's trying to join them, and they're like shunning him and telling him to get the fuck out of our way or we'll beat your
Yeah,
ass. So, but
yeah,
AEW, man, Jade Cargill dominated AEW, and she really made a name for herself. So far, the fact that she's come to WWE and she's actually been a very good baby face,
yeah,
that's what shocked me. But WWE knows what they're doing. They know that the heel turn for Jade Cargill sometime in the future is going to be epic. When Jade becomes a heel, mark my words on this. This is going to be, if I put it in a female version, it's going to be like China. When I'm talking about
okay.
heel, the wrestling ability in the camera, the way she's able to gather the crowd, Jade Cargill is going to be one of that. And if I put it in a male superstar, I'm willing to go as far as saying she's going to be like a Triple H, bro. She's going to be like
Yeah,
a cerebral assassin with the way her future looks as a WWE superstar and especially as a heel. But in this
yeah,
match, Naomi is the heel. That's where I
yeah,
think is a little bit curious about, because we haven't seen Naomi as a heel almost ever in her career in WWE. It's like, it's actually kind of funny because we're seeing Naomi be heel for kind of the first time ever, and John Cena at the same time, right? Like two people that are
yeah,
known for being very big baby faces. So I do love the fact that Naomi is having this push right now as a heel, and you're absolutely right with your statement. Both of them are going to deserve to win this match. They both
Yeah.
deserve a push. So, maybe with that, dude, maybe we see like a disqualification. Maybe we see like a draw, or,
Yeah.
maybe somebody uses a weapon like Naomi does, and that's what causes
Yeah.
a disqualification. And we
Or
see this keep going forward.
these girls go out and have match of the night. You know what I mean? And kind of like
Really?
dude. I'm just throwing it out there, right? Am I saying that that's what's going to happen? Not
No.
necessarily,
But
but
you see
like,
the potential in that.
dude, you have them go out, you give them enough time that they can go out and have a killer match to where when they're done, the fans are like fucking A, you know what I mean? I think it's beneficial to both of them, regardless who wins or loses. Now the question is though, does the storyline continue past WrestleMania?
That's
Does
always
it?
it with these like non-title matches,
For
right?
sure.
Right.
For sure. So no, I think my pick on this one is going to be Jade. I think she needs it a little bit more. But at the same time, no, I'm going to go with Jade. I'm going to stick with my gut.
Okay, because I can almost tell why you were going to go with Naomi, and I'll sort of give you
Yeah.
my opinion on this as well.
Yeah.
Naomi has been an underrated and undervalued female superstar
Yep.
for WWE for a long time, which is why she was actually the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions with the Boss. Okay, she's now Mercedes Marone or something like that in
Yeah.
AEW,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But the Boss and her were tag team champs when she left WWE because of a contract dispute. And she went over to TNA and really killed it over there. So the fact that she was able to come back and she's really gotten the WWE universe on her back. I mean, shit, that her returning at, well, I think it was last year's Royal Rumble or last year's Mania was one of the crazy moments for her in her WWE career. So I could see both of these ladies really getting a push to win this match going forward. But I think I got to roll with you, man. I think I got to go with Jade with this one. I think she benefits the most winning this match going forward. And we'll talk more about what could happen on our WrestleMania preview on if Jade wins or loses, or if Naomi wins or loses, and what that could mean going forward for both of those female superstars. So, all right, man,
Yep.
let's hop right on that train. Let's go to another championship match because why not? And this one was just recently announced as well. This is for the Intercontinental Championship. And this is probably, in my opinion, could be the match of the night. This, to me, could be the match of the night where we see Dirty Dominic Mysterio and his Judgment Day counterpart, Finn Balor, and Penta, the newest luchador and up and coming superstar in WWE, face off against the champion Braun Breaker in a fatal four-way match at WrestleMania. Now, what do you think about this right off the top of your head, brother?
I mean, I think it's going to be. I think I agree. It could be match of the night. I think if given the time, um, this could be a great match. I already have a pick. I'm going to obviously hold off for a second. I think it's going to shock you, but
Okay.
I think you're going to see your traditional Finn and Dom team up for a while. Da da da. Something's
Yep.
going to happen. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Bro, you
And
are such a fucking WWE fan, bro. I'm telling you right now, if anybody on here says you are not authentic, it is bullshit. You
yeah,
started out exactly with what's going to happen in this match. You already
yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's you know what I mean. You know what's going to happen, but now you have to account for Triple H's fucking new take on it, right?
Right, yeah.
So it's not going to be. It's going to be kind of your traditional, but then there's going to be a swerve somewhere. And all right, I'm going to just say it now because I don't know how much time we're going to spend on this one. I
Okay.
see Dom. I see Dom winning
You
by
couldn't hold
screw
that back. You couldn't
by
hold that back.
screwing Finn. I couldn't. I couldn't. By screwing Finn.
Oh,
By screwing Finn. I think he's going to do a quick roll up. Something's going to happen.
oh.
Because you remember, Aleister Black is going to be returning,
He's
right?
supposedly supposed to face Randy Orton. That's the
Oh,
rumor I'm hearing right now. Aleister Black versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. That is the rumor I'm hearing right now.
okay. Okay. Well, if that happens, then take away what I just said. But I
Okay.
think eventually he's going to take over Judgment Day. So I think there's going to be some
Ooh.
kind of. I think Dom's gonna screw over Finn.
And then they'll
Finn's gonna
kick
end
Finn
up
out of Judgment Day because
Finn.
everyone's on Dom's side. They're not
Yep.
going to be on Finn's side in the Judgment
Yeah.
Day.
Yep.
Okay.
And then that leads Finn to go off and do his single stuff.
Which he
And
should. They need to
yep.
single push him, man. Finn
Yep.
Balor is too good of an in-ring competitor. He could be a little bit better on the mic. Still pretty good. But
Yeah.
he needs to be pushed as a single superstar, man, for real. I agree with
Yeah.
you on that.
We need that. And you know who we need more of? The Demon, right? Because you have to think of this. He can't be the Demon in Judgment Day. I mean, he can,
No.
but it's not the same, right?
And we've
So
seen tea leaves of this too. Like, bro, there is like a demon, like lunchbox or logo. It's been literally there in front of our faces for weeks. Now, they've been showing Judgment Day in different locker room areas. So if it's been there, I haven't been able to point it out in the last few weeks. But, bro, for like 8, 9 straight weeks, you could see there was a demon logo somewhere, like somewhere in the camera when they were
yeah,
doing a promo with the Judgment Day. But I love this storyline from you, man. This
yeah,
is
man,
so OG WrestleMania
yeah,
fan storyline because this works perfectly. Like Dirty Dom screws over Finn. He is trying to do it so he can become a champion for the first time because he's
yep,
only won an NXT singles title. You know what I
yep.
mean? So obviously that's still good for him, but he needs to win a singles title in the WWE. And I
In the
think
main roster.
Dominic deserves a big push, man. He has
Yep.
he has literally gotten these people from booing him the worst anyone's ever been booed. Like the guy can't even get a word in when he's on the promo, when he's on the mic. That
Yeah.
now you have slowly but surely seen the WWE Universe turn his way because Finn Balor's been picking on him. Finn Balor's been like really beating down Dominic over the last few weeks. Hell, he even
Oh,
disrespected him last week.
well then it's definitely happening. If that's happening, they're gonna start off as teammates, fight, and then Dom's gonna. It's at this point, it's not even really screw, right? It's
It's
finally
just you had
standing
it
up for
coming.
himself.
Yep, you
So
had it
now
coming.
Dom's now a baby face, right? Finn can
Yeah.
lean into the heel, and now you
Now,
have
now, now,
another
let me say this
storyline.
though, because I would agree with you there. But Dom turning into babyface doesn't really work if he stays with Judgment Day, does it? Can they turn all those guys babyface like that? Because I don't think you could have Dom babyface and still in the Judgment Day. What do you say to that?
I mean, now I'm just getting a little carried away. You have Black come back in
And you
and
have
run
him
Judgment
leading
Day,
if you have him leading the Judgment Day, I would say that means Dom's going to probably stay heel because I don't see Aleister Black coming back as a
or
babyface.
you bring him back. You now there's friction in there, right? And then you kind of get Dom. Something happens. They turn their back on Dom, and now
Okay.
Dom's kind of running his own thing. Now that's a little bit of a stretch,
That
but I
is because
think
I
as
don't
far
see
as
that happening with them. But to be honest, if you ask me which way would I lean with that, I guess I would lean more to like everyone's going to turn babyface and be with Dom, like have Dom's back. If I had to guess, that's
yeah,
what it do. But that's typical WWE, right? They would throw us for a complete curveball if
yeah,
all of a sudden Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Carlito turned on Dirty Dom to either help out Finn Balor or just because they wanted to turn on Dom.
yeah,
I don't foresee that happening. I think they're better off if you make all those people go babyface. The WWE Universe is going to love that because as much as they want to hate Liv Morgan is one of the most popular WWE superstars right now. And Dirty Dom, it's the same thing. So I
yeah,
totally love your prediction about him winning. Now, I love even more of you going into detail on how he's going to win because that's what sets up, which what we'll talk about on our WrestleMania preview next week, is what the storyline could be after WrestleMania for Dirty Dom winning that Intercontinental Championship. Now, I think
yeah,
he's got the most to gain, but let's not forget, Braun Breaker is still a big up-and-coming superstar right now, even though they haven't been able to use him as I would have liked to see them use him. I think they're a little lackluster on the storyline this up to this point with Braun Breaker. I think they've kind of fumbled the ball a little bit with him, if you ask me there. So I could still see him winning to sort of build him up continuously because he deserves it. His in-ring ability is very, very good, even though he's not A+ on the microphone. He's still pretty good, but just maybe not A+. But Penta's the guy right now, man. Penta's the
Yeah.
guy heading into this match with all the momentum. Now you got to tell me what you think about Penta thus far.
I mean, I was super stoked for him to come over,
Me
but
too.
did his brother come back?
I am so happy you mentioned that because that's going to go into my take because Ray Phoenix, the brother of Penta, made his WWE debut on Friday Night SmackDown this past week. So now we have Penta on Raw. We have Ray Phoenix on Friday Night SmackDown. You know, eventually these guys are going to be a tag team or a faction with somebody else, maybe LWO. Keep that in mind. That would be pretty damn cool. But I am actually going in with a weird prediction here with this one. And I believe that we could see Ray Phoenix possibly be the guy who comes and tries to help even the odds for Penta with this whole Dom and Finn Balor teaming up sort of thing, right? And if it's
Okay.
not like you predicted with Dominic Mysterio screwing over Finn Balor and winning, right? Well, then I could see a scenario where it's Ray Phoenix comes, helps out his brother Penta, and somehow that distraction or that interference is what allows Penta or Braun Breaker to retain the Intercontinental Championship or Penta to win his first ever championship in WWE. So, what do you think about that scenario?
So I think that you are right. I think they're gonna end up going off for, some kind of tag team, right? Or I mean, I doubt that they'll start them off feuding. I doubt that they're
No,
gonna
there's
take it.
no way. No,
No
Penta's
way.
too
So
popular right now.
yeah. So they're going to take advantage of them as a tag team. So I think that's the direction that they're going to go in. So I can eliminate Penta, I believe,
Okay.
from winning this match. So then that
Okay.
leaves Braun retaining and then Dom and Finn.
Yeah, and I
So
don't
I
see
think,
Finn winning. I don't see Finn winning, but that's the way where they maybe could trick us a little bit, right? Because then
yeah,
it would be opposite of your theory, where it's like Finn wins, and then, well, actually, your theory could still be right if Finn walks out winning the Intercontinental Championship, because if Finn walks out the champion, now everybody sort of like feels bad for Dom, and then the whole Judgment Day turns on Finn Balor the same way they sort of turned on Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, right? I could see that sort of happening, but I just don't think Finn's gonna walk out of WrestleMania as the champ though.
yeah, yeah. Again, man, this is the great part of WWE now. It's what years ago it was very predictable. Either WrestleMania was the start of a program or the end, right? So based off of that, you could almost predict. But now
You can't.
I you can't, and I think what a better way to now start after WrestleMania than turn in Dom and whatever, and even just giving him the IC title. So I think Dom's going to take it personally. That's just my personal
Okay.
thing.
I like that pick
But
though. I do. I,
yeah,
I really, I
yeah,
really want to vote for. I want to root for Dom. I can't wait for Dom to turn babyface whenever he does because he's going to be a very popular superstar. And the guy shows up every week, man. The guy can wrestle.
for
The
sure.
guy can wrestle.
Yep,
The guy can perform in front of the camera and on the microphone very, very well. He has definitely been groomed for this by his dad, Rey Mysterio. But I got to bring this up because somebody in the chat here definitely brought up a good comment here. Shout out to Ego 1CG. He said, too early to have any involvement with
I
Penta and Ray. Hey, what if we seen Ray Phoenix and Penta together with the LWO?
I mean, yeah, that would be sick. But like at that point, how many members would they have, right?
So
Like
technically it would be 5 with Ray, which is not that's not out of the realm of possibility.
it's
Normally you
not
see factions around 4 or 5 members, but remember, they just got rid of Selena Vega. Selena Vega was the female member of LWO, and now she's on Friday Night SmackDown doing a singles run. So because of that, that means technically they're already missing a member that they were supposed to have. So you subtract 1, that's 3 now. So adding 2 more is technically only adding 1 more person to their faction when they got started. I think this is a really good segue into that in the future. Maybe I'm getting a little too ahead of myself, but I love the fact
yeah.
that someone made that comment because it's only a matter of time before we see these brothers like team up or in a
For
faction
sure.
or whatever. And I think LWO is going to be the best going forward for them. But I can't wait for this match, man. Penta and Braun Breaker are going to steal the match. I think they're going to make this probably the match of the night, in my opinion. But I can't wait to see the storyline, though. Dirty Dom possibly turning his back and betraying Finn Balor and winning the Intercontinental Championship. That would be pretty dope. I think that would probably be the most interesting storyline we could probably even come up with right now with that match. So look at us, dude, man. We're already almost halfway through here, brother. This has
Let's
been
go.
awesome. Thank you, Trucker John, for hanging out on the live stream. Guys, don't
Yeah,
forget,
no worries.
hit that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show, and to a shout out to my boy Truckerjohn89. Check out his YouTube channel and make sure you guys subscribe as well. All right, so let's go into one of these other smaller matches. We have AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. And then I'll also mention the other one that we just found out earlier today. We will see Damian Priest going one-on-one with Drew McIntyre. So right off the top of your head, which one of these matches intrigues you more?
I don't know. Both of I mean, I would have to go AJ and Logan just because I think they're gonna tear the house down, right? AJ can make everybody look good.
He
Logan,
does.
yep.
Brother,
Logan is a hell
your
of a
WWE knowledge is so good, bro. Kudos to you, man.
dude. Logan has
Are you
been
impressed with him as I am?
killer. I am.
I honestly thought, I'm like, this is one of the best like heel turns or like heels you're gonna ever see in WWE. Like, he is so easy for people to hate, but how good is he really gonna be? Like, how good is he gonna really be with WWE programming
dude,
and his in-ring ability though? But oh my gosh, bro, like
bro. In my WWE 2K game that I do stream on my channel, by the way.
check that out on Truckerjohn89 on YouTube,
Yeah.
guys. Gotta put the plug in.
Yeah. On my that's one of my matches that I set up because I always said I would love to see that match, right? So I both of these matches, even the Drew and Damian Priest,
Bro.
both two big guys battling.
Yep.
Then over here you have AJ and Logan,
High
two,
flyers.
high flyers,
Fantastic
athletic.
performers.
So I think both of these matches, I'm excited for both of them. I think both of them have the ability to steal the show. I personally think AJ and Logan really could steal the show.
If I was a betting man like you are, that's what I would put my money on, is that right now, because there hasn't been much of a storyline really built up with this match in the first place anyways, which is only setting us up for what could be like the WrestleMania moment of the night. I mean, anytime Logan Paul ends up on a premium live event match, we see him do things that we never would have thought he could do. I mean, I've heard him on his podcast, Trucker John. He admitted that springboard he did in Cleveland at last year's SummerSlam, he said he's never doing that move again because he got so much air and had to practice that move so many times that he was like, nah, bro, if I would have messed that move up, I would have probably screwed up my whole wrestling career, that's one of those harsh realities that I think a lot of WWE fans or people maybe that are not wrestling fans or WWE fans don't realize. Like, yeah, these matches, sure, maybe scripted or whatever, but these people can really get hurt, man. And Logan Paul puts on a freaking show when he's in there. So him versus AJ Styles. Now you're saying you've played with this on your WWE 2K game?
All the
this
time,
has got to be epic to see. You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm going to challenge you. Next time you live stream WWE 2K25, I want to see this match and make sure you shout me out and let people know why you're doing that match, because I can imagine you don't even need to control anybody in that one. You could just put computer versus computer and you could watch that with your fucking popcorn, dog.
I was going to say, bro, I will. That's what I'll do. I'll leave it as computer versus computer. And
dude, if you stream that, you should do commentary or let me come on with you and do commentary, bro. That'd be awesome, man.
I'll turn their commentary off. But and with the Damian Priest match, man, two powerhouses. Two powerhouses.
They could definitely tear the house down, man. These two guys could definitely, they have the potential of doing that. This feud has been building up for a while. This is actually probably the best storyline of any match that we're running into, because this storyline with these two goes all the way back to last year's WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that, but Damian Priest, he cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase when
Yep.
CM Punk pretty much fucked up and, took Drew McIntyre out, and Damian Priest finished the job. So now Drew McIntyre says it's Priest's fault. All the
Yeah.
things that's happened to Drew this past year, all his shortcomings, the fact he can't get the championship belt back around his waist, it's Damian Priest's fault now. So that's where this beef is sort of built up. And now we're going to see it, reach its peak with Damian Priest going one-on-one with Drew McIntyre. The only thing that could have made this match a little bit better, though, is some sort of stipulation, right? Like maybe a no disqualification match.
Bro, I swear to God, that's what I was waiting to say. The only thing that they could do is add something. Extreme rules, falls count anywhere. Give me
Something, right?
something. Yeah.
Bull
Hold on,
whip, bull rope match, one of those
yeah.
things. But man, Damian Priest, though, guys, versus Drew McIntyre, that's definitely going to be one of those big matches at WrestleMania. We're looking at two big powerhouses, two big bruiserweights, if you will. Those guys that could definitely put a licking on you up in those big upper class. Definitely two legitimate heavyweights going at it. So I know that the WWE fans are going to be excited about that match. Now, Logan Paul versus AJ Styles, I think that one's going to be either hit or miss, man. It's either going to be really exciting and we're all going to like it, which that's what I'm predicting is going to happen, or it could be of a dud. And the only reason I'm saying that one could be a dud is because the storyline just hasn't been built up enough before we get to this match. But this could mean that we're getting a continuous storyline with this one, just like we were talking with Naomi and Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, so I think it's one of the matches that we're just going to enjoy the wrestling, right? I think it's just going to be great wrestling. I think you're going to get a couple, crazy moments like
Yep.
moves. So I think it's just great wrestling, and I'm looking forward to that match. That's in my top 3 matches that I'm actually looking.
Really?
Yes, that's in my top,
Okay.
just from the wrestling standpoint of both people. I am very excited.
Damn.
I am very excited to
So,
see that match.
wow, you know what? I'm going to have to save this for all the fans here and all the subscribers on Tim Reynolds Show and for Truckerjohn89 on YouTube, because I'm going to have to challenge you on that next week, brother. When we go through all the matches next week and you're telling me AJ Styles versus Logan Paul is better than 3 of these, I don't know if I could pick. I don't know if there is 3 other matches that I would pick below that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're saying top 3. I'm saying it would be lucky to get top 5, bro. That'd
Nah,
be
see,
nah.
storyline, I get it, but
Okay.
the wrestling and the match, I think it's going to be crazy. Plus, we still have one more Raw, one more SmackDown left, right? So it's
We got
not
2 more
over.
SmackDowns. We got 2 more
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
SmackDowns
yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
That's right. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. So we have 2 more SmackDowns. So a lot more can happen. And yeah, man, I called it first. Just remember that. Just remember that.
I love it. I love it, man. And you know what, though? I will tell you this, man, because I know I'll be streaming, but I'll probably be calling you like right afterwards, unless it's on Sunday. Then I'll probably just have to wait and talk to you on Monday, with work and everything. But if that match tears the house down, for sure, bro, I am calling you, or we are hopping on the fucking live stream and just talking about that match, because it's going to be
Oh, yeah.
worth it, in my opinion. So there's 2 more matches, though, going over for you guys. So let's just get your prediction real quick there, Trucker John, on the AJ Styles versus Logan Paul, and then Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. Who do you got winning those matches?
I mean, I hope AJ wins. Just, I don't know. But then again, Logan's been in all the main events. He's only wrestling mainly on pay-per-views. I think Logan's going to win. I think Logan's going to win. I won't be mad to see AJ win. I'm going to be rooting for AJ.
I'm
But
I'm going to be rooting for AJ too, but there's no way
yeah,
AJ wins this match. It's just not.
no,
It doesn't
no,
work that way, and we'll get
yeah,
more into that with our WrestleMania preview, but it doesn't make any sense for AJ. Well, I mean, unless we continue the feud, right? I mean, that would make sense that way because they haven't built
But
up this storyline at all.
it'll make sense either way, right? Like if Logan wins, AJ's pissed off. If AJ wins, Logan's pissed off. So either way, I think the storyline's going to continue. Maybe to
Hey,
like take
maybe
it to
we'll.
SummerSlam, TLC, or a cage, or you add
I
some
like
kind of
that.
crazy stipulation. That's a
I like
banger
that.
match.
Yeah, honestly, I could even see maybe this being one of those where it's like, and I won't get too much into it to save it for the WrestleMania preview, but like, bro, maybe this might be one of those matches where like AJ turns heel and Logan Paul goes babyface.
I mean,
Sort of like that. I mean, I know you probably haven't seen this a lot, but Karrion Kross has been like up AJ Styles' ass over the last few weeks. And this past Monday on Monday Night Raw, Karrion Kross came up and confronted AJ Styles once again, but it was more like a plead. It was like, you can't let him win. Like, he was almost like speaking for the roster. And Karrion Kross doesn't do that. Like Karrion Kross is like his own guy. He's worried about his own mission, his own priorities, right? But
yeah.
lately he has been fixated on what AJ Styles is doing here. So I really do think that we could see maybe AJ Styles a little heel turn. Maybe Karrion Kross gets involved in this match somehow. Could they somehow make Logan Paul go babyface? Wouldn't that be
No,
something?
I
That'd be
mean they could
something.
try. They could try. It will take an act of God to make Logan Paul babyface, bro. It will
That's
take
the
an
dog.
act of God.
That's my dog right there. Yo, if
Yeah.
I had a ticker right now, we'd be putting that up on the fucking ticker right now. Yo, put it on there. Fucking my boy Trucker John. It would be an act of God if Logan Paul went freaking babyface. But hey,
Yeah.
remember, we did just see John Cena turn heel. So anything's possible, right?
I mean, yeah, but the fans have to accept it. And the first
Do
time
they?
Logan,
Do they though? This is the new Triple H era. Do we have to
yeah,
be accepted or do we have to let it go with the flow of the show of what the storyline they're trying to predict is? Because I will say this. This is all rumors. This is all just what I've read online. But a lot of people are pretty pissed off at the fact that this John Cena heel turn has to do with the fact that like The Rock is sort of like this big Vince McMahon boss type figure now that like what you seen at Elimination Chamber when John Cena turned on Cody Rhodes, that reminded me of your Kiss My Ass Club from Vince
yeah,
McMahon. That's exactly the vibes I got from The Rock with that. So there's not a lot of WWE fans right now that are too happy about that because that means we may not get to see as much of The Rock, John Cena together, or just The Rock in general with this storyline going forward. So I know there's a lot of rumors online that some people actually like don't like this because
bro.
this was supposed to be the WrestleMania where it was The Rock versus Roman Reigns or The Rock versus Cody Rhodes.
So The Rock, I think he's filming a movie. Somebody was able to piece this like 4 or 5 months ago. Yeah, he's filming a movie right now,
And
and
can't get out of it. So they had to
yeah,
pivot.
yeah. So I think though, mark my word, bro. One, if not the last match, one of the matches of this year is going to be John Cena versus The Rock again.
Oh, yes.
Uh,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
you know what I mean. So that
Yes.
whole thing will play itself out eventually. But
I am totally on board with you. But you know what though? You actually just made me think of something that I never even thought of with this John Cena heel turn. Could this be a pivot? Could this literally the one of the biggest moments in WWE's history? Could John Cena turning heel be actually a pivot for them? Because I don't know if heading into last year's WrestleMania or heading off of last year's WrestleMania that we really could have seen John Cena heel turn in the main event for the championship. Like I think John deserves to win that 17 championship. I really do. I think he's put in the work that he deserves to get that. But my problem with it is that he's on a retirement tour So you're not going to give him the championship run that he deserves. And let's face it, John Cena hasn't had the championship run that he deserves over his last like 2 championship runs. And that was like 6 years ago.
Well, I
Like
mean,
it's been a long time.
you have him ride off into the sunset with it. I mean, I don't
That's
know.
what he's saying. That's been John Cena's promo. He said literally, and we'll get into this a little bit more because this is what I was talking to you pre-show about, is that Cody Rhodes destroyed John Cena on the mic last Monday. 2 Mondays ago. Part mistaken there. And I was shocked. I really was. I know Cody Rhodes is good on the mic. He's one of the best. But the way John Cena really went into Cody Rhodes and then Rhodes just took it and went right back at him with it was just impressive, dude. Impressive by all means, which I don't know. So John Cena winning, riding off into the sunset. I think the reason you let John win that match is so that way Cody can win a second title, right? That's got to be the only reason because I get vibes that John wants to bring back the spinner belt. Like he wants to go old school John. And the only thing about this heel turn that I'm pissed off about is why are we not getting Thugonomics Cena right now? Are you kidding me? Thugonomics Cena versus the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes? That would be epic, bro. That would
I the whole Cena and Cody thing, obviously it's going to be the main event and I'm excited to see it. I think Cody could deserve a little break and he could come back and win his second title later down the road, maybe SummerSlam.
Okay.
Give you time to maybe get The Rock involved or whatever. Well, they have plenty of time, but I think, you kind of give Cody a break, right? Like, you can't go from having Roman Reigns, who was a champion for like years, to now Cody, who's had it for almost a year, and we're grateful for it, right? Like, we're happy, everything's cool.
It was a good choice. It was a good run.
Yeah. Now you let Cena have it. Let him have his 17th
Cody faced
title.
some adversity, right? Cody's got to overcome that adversity a little bit. The corporation's against him. He's the face of the company, but he's not the company. I guess I would believe this more if like that Roman and Cody Rhodes sort of teaming up thing was still kind of like if that was the way they were still going with it. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be very interesting how they go with that match, and we'll get to that one here probably to end this stream. But go ahead, we got 4 more matches to go over with here. Actually, 5 more. So we'll try to go over a couple of these a little bit quicker for you.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say I am down to like 10%. So I might have to duck. I might have to duck out. So if you want to cut anyone that you want to cover with you and I mean, I'll cover one more with you. So if you want to pick a good one.
All right, so we'll just go ahead. I'll just mention the rest of them and kind of recap what we've done so far, and we'll try to continue this next week, brother. Just gives us something more to start on, and we'll talk more about it. So, you got Logan Paul beating AJ Styles, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then I have Damian Priest beating Drew McIntyre. What do you say? Yeah, I can see it. The gears are turning in this one, right?
I was trying to think who needs it more. Drew does need it, but Drew
does need it more. Like Priest is in a really good spot right now, but Drew McIntyre does need this win a little bit more than Priest. So yeah, you might even convince me to maybe go with Drew there. Just thinking about that. So
I could
go ahead and
I could flip a coin either one, but I will probably go with who you picked. Not
Damian
Drew.
Priest.
Damian Priest. Yep.
So, all right, so we got 4 more matches, the big championship matches, obviously. We got the Women's World Championship that is now a triple threat match as Bianca Belair, the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble or Women's Elimination Chamber winner, who is the #1 contender, now has to face 2 opponents. That is Io Sky, who is the new Women's World Champion, and the former Women's World Champion, Rhea Ripley. Now, Rhea's kind of inserted herself into this triple match or to make this a triple threat match. Just tell me your quick thoughts on what you thought about this and how it sort of got to this point. Because if you ask me, I think Io Sky's been a little shunned and has not been
Yeah.
shined upon as the champion enough. And I think this really hurts Bianca, because if you would have asked me beforehand, Bianca's winning this match 100 times out of 100. Now I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I mean, I could see this one going in either direction. I do think that Sky's been, kind of put down as a champion, her championship run really doesn't have much umph behind it. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
So I think it's going to be a great match. Yeah, I mean, I think athletically, I think it's going to be great. As far as my winner for it, man, this one's tough. This might be
Very
the
tough. I
toughest
think
one.
this is the toughest one to predict, honestly.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, maybe Ripley. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Give
I'm
her.
rolling with Bianca. I just think Bianca is just determined to get the championship belt back around her waist. WWE's always better when she's got a championship belt around her waist. So that's going to be very interesting. To me, that's probably going to be the most interesting match of WrestleMania, just because so many people probably could predict so many different outcomes for that particular match, right?
For
Especially
sure.
going forward on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. So another one that we'll touch on here. We got 3 more matches. It's the next one is for the United States Championship, where we will see LA Knight, who I know you're a big fan of, just like I am, take on Jacob
Yeah.
Fatu, the Samoan Werewolf. This is going to be a pretty interesting match, if you ask me. Maybe a candidate for match of the night, but I really do think LA Knight's going to come out as the winner in this one. What do you think?
Do you? I mean,
Well, I
you're
guess the
trying to build.
storyline goes better for Fatu winning, right? Because right now there's a bunch of confrontation in the new bloodline with Solo and Tamatanga. I get all that, so I could see why. I just don't understand, why are you going to take a title belt off of LA Knight when he just won it a couple weeks ago, and he deserves to have a championship belt?
So no, but I will back LA Knight for this reason. If you have Jacob Fatu leave Judgment Day, or not Judgment Day,
Just
Bloodline,
leave.
the new Bloodline,
Yeah. Okay.
that's his storyline moving forward, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so you have LA Knight off with the championship. Now, how about this? How about this? How about the Bloodline screws Fatu that night? You know what I
Oh.
mean? They screw him out of the
Oh,
title.
well,
They
bro,
screw him out of the title.
we're gonna have to get into that a lot more next week, because that is a very, very interesting and good theory you have there, my man. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
even
I
think
mean,
of that.
yeah. I mean, everybody thinks that he's going to be the one to leave them. What if
Yeah.
they screw him? Solo's tired of him, bucking against them or
Yep, and
whatever. You know what
we've
I mean?
seen that. We've seen that over the
Yeah.
last few weeks. There's a lot of tension between
Yep.
Solo and Jacob Fatu.
Yep.
Brother, I love that theory on you, man. You may have swayed my opinion a little bit on like who could possibly win that match, because I think now if LA Knight's gonna win, that's exactly the way it's gonna go, right? I mean,
Yep. Yep.
otherwise it could be one of those cases where maybe Solo and Tamatanga come out to try to help Fatu, and they end up screwing him accidentally, or someone
One
comes
of
and
the
helps
two.
out LA Knight. So that could be pretty
So
interesting.
either way, you have the bloodline screw him. It still protects him, right, Jacob? Because
Well, because Jacob's already
he
getting a
didn't
big
lose.
push, right? Jacob's already getting a big singles push right
Right.
now, so that's what makes your theory like
Yeah.
pretty probable.
Yeah, and you're not putting his fire out because he was screwed out of the title. You know what I mean? He wasn't pinned cleanly. He was something. You know what I mean? So it
I love the
protects
way you did
him.
that. Yep. So LA
Yep.
Knight wins, but Jacob Fatu gets screwed over by the bloodline. I mean, that's a really good storyline heading into Friday Night SmackDown the following week. So I really like that theory from you. But let's go on. We got 3 more matches to go over here. And now what they're calling the biggest triple threat match possibly in WrestleMania history. We've got Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth freaking Rollins. Now, I know, Trucker John, you have got to be excited to see this match at WrestleMania 41, because I tell you what, bro, I was thrown off on Monday Night Raw because Seth Rollins was confronting the wise man, Paul Heyman, after what we found out last Friday when we thought the favor that CM Punk was owed by Paul Heyman was him getting the main event match at WrestleMania because he's never been in the main event before. That's his dream, right? So now he gets that and tells us that's not the favor. So guess what ends up being the favor, bro?
What?
He wants Paul Heyman in his corner. That's what the favor is. Like, are you
Yeah.
kidding me? I'm like, that threw me for a loop. And I'm like, that's so stupid. Why would they do that? And then Monday night just happened. And Seth Rollins almost took out Paul Heyman with a stomp after he took out CM Punk with the stomp because Punk came out to confront him because Seth Rollins was getting in the grill and pushing and shoving and slapping the face of the wise man. I didn't see that coming, but brother, we could be seeing a Seth Rollins heel turn. And guess what the rumors are online?
What?
Paul Heyman is going to betray CM Punk and Roman Reigns and possibly join Seth Rollins. That's the big conspiracy theory going on online right now. Can you even wrap your head around that? I can't.
Yeah. I know that's insane to think about, but it leads to a whole new layer to the story, and I mean, I would be open for it. I would. That's this match. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't have an outcome. Um, I don't know. I don't have a prediction.
Well,
This
good,
one
because
is
you know what? I don't either, and it gives us more to talk about heading into next week. Because man, this one really we can talk about this particular match a lot next week because there's a
yeah.
lot really going into it, and there's going to be a lot that happens after this match too. Like this isn't going to be the last time that we hear from this storyline between these three, if you ask me.
Yeah. Plus, we still have a couple more shows to watch, and then yeah, we'll talk about it next week, and we'll see what happens.
All right, so two more matches to go, bro. Obviously, we talked a little bit
Yeah.
about Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Now we'll keep that short and brief because we already did talk about that a little bit. This is not as hyped up as a match as I expected it to be, but I still think it's gonna deliver. I think it's gonna be
Yeah.
one of the better matches of the night, and I'm really excited to see what happens going forward. We'll save a lot of talk about this match for next week, but just get your first thoughts on what you think about John Cena versus Cody Rhodes.
I think it does. It's a match that doesn't need a lot of build, right? Cody's the
No.
champion. John Cena wants it. He's coming for it. John Cena's bad guy. Um,
Cody's good guy.
Cody's the good guy. I think it's a pretty simple story. And
Yep.
I don't think it's something that's going to continue. I think it's other things are going to happen that's going to continue the story, but I don't think Cena and Cody are going to keep going back and forth. So with that being said, I think this is a one and done. I think
Okay.
this is a stepping stone for something else.
Good.
I don't think this is going to be a clean victory one way or another at WrestleMania. I think there's going to be a huge surprise. I don't know what that surprise is going to be. But no, yeah, I mean, we'll do our predictions on that next week because
There's a lot to
I
talk
want to
about with that one. So
yeah, and
we definitely gonna save it.
I want to see how the next three shows play out too. So
And I like your theory with what you're going with that, but I do have to disagree with you a little bit on the fact that I think that this storyline is going to evolve more than we expected it to, especially what we talked about before we went live with the fact that like you could have a lot of storylines with John Cena and The Rock going forward after this, or possibly if Cena wins, I could see a lot more different storylines happening between him and Cody Rhodes, not only to
well,
get Cody a second title reign, but also to bring back like maybe Thugonomic Cena, to bring back the Spinner Championship belt and get John Cena that seventh championship that I know he deserves.
so you have John Cena win, right? But you have John Cena who is limited on who he's going to fight for the rest of the year, right? So could they run it back at some point? I mean, maybe. But I have Cena winning, and I think it's going to be a circle. I think
Okay.
Cena could give it to The Rock. I don't know. I have
Well, hey,
Cena.
brother, people in the chat are actually sort of agreeing with your sentiment that you said earlier. We got Hacha K in the chat that says, I think Cody Rhodes will be off TV for a while after WrestleMania. So that goes right along with your theory, man. And I mean, he would deserve a little time off the way he's been, trailblazing with the company over the last 3 years. So
For sure.
I
For
like
sure.
your theory with that. We'll talk more in depth about that big main event match. But to me, what could be the match of the night, and to me is the championship match of the night, we have the World Heavyweight Championship on the line with the ring general Gunther going one-on-one with main event Jey Uso, the winner of the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble match. Now, this one's had a lot of build-up and a lot of hype to it. Just want to get your thoughts real quick before we call it a night here, man, on this match.
So I'm surprised. Look, at least you gave it the respect it deserved by making it the last thing we talked about tonight, because I'm just upset that I don't know that Jay won the Royal Rumble and he's not in a main event of either night, So as much as I think Jay needs this win, and you know what? I think Jay's gonna win, actually.
Me too.
Yeah.
I would put my money on it, man. He deserves to win.
Yeah, I think he deserves to win, but then again, I mean, yeah, because you don't want to continue this storyline between Jay and Gunther any more than WrestleMania. They've been fighting for a while now, and it is what it is. It's not a bad rivalry, but it's just one that you pay it off. You pay it off to the fans at WrestleMania, right? And
Well, is
you
it
know,
safe to say, and I think you might agree with me on this, but isn't this statement fair to say that they have kind of been a little underwhelming when it comes to Jay being the Royal Rumble
for
winner
sure.
and getting to
Yeah,
pick? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying they haven't tried to push this storyline because, I mean, shit, like Jimmy Uso, his brother, just got bloody beaten the week before by Gunther. And then you seen this past week on Monday, Jay gets real serious with Gunther saying, I was scared of you. I really was scared of you. And now I'm not. I have nothing to be scared about anymore. I know the best you're going to dish out, and I'm going to beat you for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I just think Gunther's going to be one of those guys. Gunther's going to be around for a long time. Gunther doesn't need a championship belt to have the status quo that he does as a wrestler in WWE right now. Now, mind you, the guy has had a championship belt more more of the time that he's been in WWE than he hasn't. And nobody can really say that besides him, especially to start your WWE career, right? Which is why I think personally, they take the belt off of him. They give it to Jay. Jay deserves it. He deserves to get this big championship win,
I agree.
almost like Kofi Mania a couple of years back, if you remember that for
Yep.
WrestleMania.
Yep.
And I think that's going to set it up better for both of these guys going forward for other storylines, or if they continue on this storyline. I think if Gunther wins, this storyline's over. Like, Jay's not coming
Yeah.
back to challenge him again. It'll be either the next champion or it'll be the next storyline for him after
Yeah.
that. And I don't think Jay doesn't deserve that. Jay
Yeah.
deserves to be the champion. And then even if you want to take it off him at the next pay-per-view, they've already done that before with the Intercontinental Championship, and as much as I didn't like that when it happened, it worked. It was still pretty
Yeah.
good. They made him Intercontinental Champion for like what, 6 weeks or something like that. His first ever singles title, and then he lost it like almost immediately. So I think that's a good possibility, a good theory. Who do you got winning this match? You got Jay?
So I have Jay winning, but you brought up Kofi Mania. Do you remember how Kofi lost it and how quick he lost it?
Yeah.
No, he held it for a while, but what I'm getting at is
Yeah, he
when
had
he
a few
lost it.
months. It wasn't like that
Yeah,
was just a flash in the pan. He had a few months
right.
of that title reign.
Then he fought Brock and lost
And
it in
got
like what, 20 seconds?
destroyed.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be something similar. I think Jay's going to win. I think
Oh,
he'll lose
okay,
it
yeah.
in
And
a
then they
couple
give the
months.
title right back to Gunther. I love that theory from you, brother. That is an
Yep.
excellent theory, man. And sad to say, too, on the subject, it sounds like Brock Lesnar might be retiring from the WWE. Have you heard about that?
No, I didn't hear anything
Yeah,
about
just a
that.
rumor. Nothing official yet, but something I heard online to keep our eyes out and ears out for. But Thank you
Yeah, for
so
sure.
much, man. Appreciate you, Trucker John. I know it's getting late, man. I appreciate you
Yeah, yeah.
hanging out here
I'm an
on the
old
live
man.
stream. Been a very, very good talk, and I'm looking forward to next week. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on the channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe, not only to Tim Reynolds Show, but shout out to my boy here, my friend, Truckerjohn89. Make sure you guys check him out on YouTube as well. Chill guy, always playing video games. And hey,
Yeah.
we got to look out for him playing that WWE 2K25 because he tells us that Logan Paul versus AJ Styles is going to be
Banger.
a top 3 match at WrestleMania. I'm holding you to that, brother. We are going to
Listen.
talk about this before Mania, during Mania, and after Mania, brother. So make sure you
Look.
guys check out Tim Reynolds Show for my live play-by-play for WrestleMania 41. Trucker John will be with us at least on one of the nights, at least I believe at least Saturday, right, Truck? We may not have
Yeah,
you Sunday,
Saturday. Yes.
but we'll at least
Yeah,
have you for
Sunday.
Saturday.
Yep, Saturday. Yep,
Awesome,
Sunday I'll
awesome.
be with my buddy Ego. Real
That's all
quick,
right.
just
That
want to
just
throw.
means I'll be messaging you all day Sunday because I know you'll be watching. So you better
Yeah,
be right by your phone,
yeah.
dog.
I
So,
will. I
all right,
will. And
man.
hey, just to tell you guys real quick, we are going to be doing WWE this weekend. As Tim said, over on Truckerjohn89 on YouTube. So we'll be doing some WWE, bunch of other games. But I want you guys to come by and relay the message of how good the match was back to Tim, because I'm
Hell
telling you,
yeah.
AJ and
Blow
Logan.
me up. I want to hear it, man. I want
Yeah,
people
yeah,
to
yeah,
go,
yeah.
dude, AJ Styles versus Logan Paul is going to be the shit.
Yep, yep. So yeah,
All right,
appreciate you
man.
having me, Tim.
Hey, and thank you for joining the channel, brother. I really appreciate any time that you can give to come on here and talk a little wrestling or football like we do. And I look forward to the next time, man. You have yourself a great night, and bless you and your family, man. Hope your daughter's
Yep.
doing good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right,
All right,
man.
guys.
Peace out, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Take it easy.